Yeah. Gotta find a property too.
I don't know. Do you think we should do the guess the list price?
Yeah, why not?
You think it adds to the?
I think
You think people care about it?
that's a question for you guys. Do you guys like to guess the list price?
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We're getting some people listening now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well.
I mean, I think the email campaigns probably definitely do help. It's a local thing, so
There's only like 5 people that open the email.
don't matter. It's 5 people.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
that's true.
Well,
welcome back.
I guess
to
we're rolling.
episode
12.
mark.
I'm gonna say 12.
I think it's 13.
Wow.
I think it's 13.
All right, let's run with it. Episode 13 of Real Estate Agent Mastery. Welcome back. My name is Matthew Davis. I'm your co-host here. This is Rakan Abazar, your main host and First State Home Team leader. So he's the leader of our team. I'm also on the team as well. So I learned a lot from him, and I'm super happy about the episode that we have today. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, we just put this content out for people to get value from. I think too many podcasts, especially in the real estate world, are very high level. They don't really talk about like specifics, like tactics. Like you can listen to an hour-long podcast and be like, okay, that all sounds great, but what do I actually do? Like, how do I actually do it? What are my next steps? So if you listen to our stuff, we always talk about like, here's exactly what you do. You could listen to the SOI marketing one. We give you exactly what we do with the postcards and the raffles, the giveaway, the event. How do you work your sphere of influence? How do you grow it? Social media. We talk about exactly what to say, how to work paid leads. We talk about,
I mean, to give you an example, right? Like surface level might be, okay, get leads from open houses. All right, well, a level deeper is what's the script at an open house?
Right.
All right, the level deeper than that is, okay, where are you setting up in the open house? Where, the level deeper than that is what's the psychology behind that? What's the tonality when you talk to them?
Yep.
Not just the script and go do open houses and kind of up for interpretation. I think it's about the tactical things that I think real estate podcasts and just, I mean, really podcasts overall are just lazy to really dive into and get into.
Yeah.
To give it the sauce. You know what I mean?
Nope, so. I agree. So today we're talking about investing. And we'll talk about real estate investing. We'll talk about how to work with investors as a realtor. And we'll talk about some other investments too.
Yeah.
Throw it in there and just have fun with it.
No doubt. So you're saying this podcast can be about investing as ourselves, as being a real estate agent, how to invest, but also how to work with investors.
Right, exactly.
Okay, what do you want to start with?
Yep. Let's talk about working with investors.
Okay.
So where do you start with investors? So first of all, a lot of times when you're talking to an investor, they'll just say, just bring me a deal that makes money, right?
Yeah.
And I found that no investors I've worked with that actually buy properties that are successful have that mindset. They all have something that they're looking for, right?
They have a buy box.
Maybe they have like a wider buy box or something like that, but none of them just say, "Hey, bring me a deal," right? Bring me something, and I'll check the numbers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I was just talking to Greg about this, right? He had as an investor who's just been like running him ragged. She said, I don't want this property because it's an hour away from my house. And then she sends him a property that's an hour away from her house in another direction. And he's like, okay, so what are we doing here, right?
Right.
So I think initially when you talk to an investor, you have to really understand their strategy so you can best help them, right? What's your buy box? What does that look like? Right. Are you looking for buy and hold property? Are you looking for a flip? Are you looking for something that you can buy and hold and add value to? Or are you looking for something turnkey that you can buy, maybe already has a tenant in there? Or something you could buy that somebody else flipped that you can put a tenant in there next month?
Right.
Right? Like what's their buy box look like?
Okay. So just, I mean, really almost setting the expectation with them. Like, I need to understand what you want, what you're actually going to buy.
Because otherwise you're talking to a home buyer.
Yeah.
If they're like, just send me houses. You're like, what?
Yeah.
There's 800 homes for sale. And,
I need to stay between 400, 600, like anything above.
I need at least 3 bedrooms. Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. And I'm sure you in the beginning are kind of showing some expertise, by getting specific with those things.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise they won't respect you. I feel like investors are pretty easy to like run all over you.
Oh yeah.
If you don't like set it straight.
Yeah. Well, people, and there's some truth to it, but a lot of people say like, oh, this guy, he's an investor, maybe he has 2 or 3 or 4 properties, whatever already. He knows more about real estate than I do. That might be true, but you still have to be the professional, right? And you still have to take control of the situation. And you'd probably be surprised. There's probably some things about real estate that they don't, right?
Right.
I've had clients, not really now, being in the business for a while, but when I got started, let's say a couple years in, where I knew a little bit, but not like a crazy amount, say 2 or 3, 4 years in. And I would talk to like very successful, even home buyers or sellers or investors or whatever. And I'm like, they know just as much, if not more, about real estate than I do. They know what they're looking for. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of value you can add there. And it starts with really probably looking at investment properties for yourself. So we can kind of segue to that.
Got it. Well, I want to ask a question about the first piece though. There's a lot of investors. An investor is going to know more real estate agents than the average buyer, just because through networking, because they like talking about real estate probably. My question is, for an investor who gives you that vibe of like, if you get a deal, just send it to me, but they're not so much committed to you in the sense that they're not want to sign a buyer agency.
Right.
They're getting deals sent to them from multiple agents or whatever. Like, how do you treat that relationship? Do you ever try to like basically close them on working solely with you?
It depends. It depends on what they're really doing, like the volume. If you're talking to somebody who's doing a bunch of flips, like an investor that flips full time, they have a company, they're doing a bunch, they're probably not going to sign exclusively with you, right? It probably doesn't make sense for them to. They might do a lot of business with you if you bring them a deal, maybe they flip it and have you resell it, right? Like a lot of investors do that, but they're probably not going to work with just one person,
right?
They're out there, they're networking, they're becoming the person they want the deal flow to go through, right?
Okay.
So if you're looking for, so we were just talking about that condo that we're selling in Paladin Club. My client Kim, she was referred to me by an agent in Texas who helped her buy a house out there. So she's an investor, super bright lady, all her properties, all cash, right? And she worked exclusively with me. She was just looking for a turnkey rental. She didn't want to do any work to it. She didn't need crazy return. She's just looking for somewhere to park her money where she can make more money on it than in the stock market or somewhere else, right? So that's the kind of investor that you want to lock down and work with one-on-one.
Got it.
Right. So probably
where she's looking a little bit more one-off, you're saying?
Yeah. Like, so if someone's looking for like a buy and hold, that's probably someone you want to work with exclusively, right? If they're like, hey, I don't need the deal of the century, I just want to park my money somewhere, make a little bit of money on it, start building a portfolio, that's someone you kind of want to work with exclusively.
Got it. Right? Okay. But for the investor, that's more big time, right? Talking with multiple people.
Yeah.
You might just be a drop in the bucket in some ways. In
There's
some
nothing
ways,
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
When we're working with that investor, do you just kind of like put them on a list, and when you do come over a deal, like you just maybe call them, or is it like you just put them on an email campaign list where you're like, all right, this, you have a Google sheet. These are my investor clients. These are kind of their, their box. And then just when you get maybe an off-market deal or something, you just send it to all those people via email.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? What's the way you're communicating with those big-time people?
So I don't do a lot with the people that are doing big volume because I'm an investor myself, personally.
Yeah.
If I find a deal that's like really good deal, I'm just going to buy it myself, right? If I have like a couple projects going on, like with them doing multiple flips or something like that, and my hands are tied, then I can bring the deal to these other investors, right? And I don't typically send them any kind of like alert or anything like that because they're already probably seeing that stuff. But if you come across something off market, you come across, you go out to a listing appointment and the house is like falling apart and you can't buy it for some reason, take it to your investor. That's exactly what they want. That's what they want that relationship to be like. Right? They want you to think of them. Now, here's a big key there though. The investor has to close. They have to be willing to buy, right? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to investors that said, bring me a deal and I'll buy it. And then you bring them a deal and either A, they get cold feet and won't actually pull the trigger and now they wasted your time, or B,
they try to steal it.
No, not necessarily. I mean, that probably happens sometimes, but what I'm talking about is they want to lowball the shit out of them, right? You bring them a deal that's going to make them $30,000, $40,000, and they're like, that's not enough. I need to make $80,000, right?
So they're going to be like running you, like basically running your tracks around because they want to lowball each property, and then you're spending a bunch of time on a property that's not even okay.
Exactly. Yep. And then they waste it. And obviously, as agents, we probably know multiple investors, right? So if I take a deal to an investor and they waste my time, maybe somebody else buys that deal. In the meantime, I can't take it to another investor.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. It does. Yeah, I was curious. That's one of the questions I had about in terms of that, because, I do talk with a good amount of people that are like, this is what I'm looking for, but I know they're working with other people.
Right. But yeah, most investors don't close. So like 99% of people you talk to, they're like, yeah, bring me a deal, and you bring them a deal and they just.
So at that point, you kind of just
they like the idea of being an investor more than they are an investor.
So at that point, you kind of just, not like you sever the relationship, but you're not so much putting forth.
I won't reach out to them again. Yeah, my database is full of, my CRM has a ton of investors that I've talked to, and I just move on. Unless they're like, I almost have like a buy box for investors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have like an investor box, and if they're like, yeah, bring me a deal, they're not in my box. If they're like, yeah, I'll buy anything that makes money, they're not in my box. If they're like, if they don't have a buy box, they're not in my client box.
Got it. They got to be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then, let's segue into how to invest as an agent into real estate. I think that's probably what our title is mostly going to be geared towards here, is how to buy real estate as a realtor.
Yep.
So this is what I'm happy to talk about, because it's something obviously I want to get into soon. Sure. I know you've been doing it for a little while now. Yep. We have people in here in the office that do it. So what would you say is the best way to start? Put yourself in my shoes to give you an example. I'm a young realtor, just started, maybe a year ago. And, I'm looking to get into a property. Like, what do you think is maybe one of the best few ways to get into it?
So when you're beginning, your money is limited, right? So you probably want to look at two things. What can I get into with as little money as possible? And also, where can I build the most equity so that I can keep my money moving, right? If you're just getting started, let's say you have 10 grand, that 10 grand is your life savings, right? You don't want to, it's not a bad idea to just buy a house, buy like a nice move-in ready townhouse that's been flipped, something like that. But you're putting that 10 grand in that house and you're not getting back out until maybe you sell or refinance in the future, which would,
And there's no reason to refinance unless rates drop crazy, but let's just say they don't.
I mean, or prices go up a lot and then you can cash out, refi, and pull your equity out. But outside of those things, right, that it's dead money. You want to keep your money moving as much as possible.
Got it. Yep. Just keeping momentum with your monany.
Yep.
That's like a good saying. We could probably come up with
I didn't come up with that. Dead money, that's the thing. People say
dead money? Well, I mean, like, keep your money moving or something like that.
Yeah, keep your money in motion.
Yeah. Momentum. Money momentum. All right, keep going. Anyways, so, okay, how do you keep your money moving when you maybe don't have as much money?
So again, if you could buy that townhouse, that move-in ready townhouse, and somehow get the seller to pay all of your closing costs, maybe get some down payment assistance, that's not a bad idea, because then you could buy it with little money down, right? Little no money down, and keep your money and use it for some other kind of investment. Really, 10,000 is not quite enough to start like doing real investments, but it could help you get your foot in the door on your first property, right? If you're going to live there, right? What else? So if you're buying something that needs equity, that'd be a great way to start.
Yeah.
If you could buy, let's say you buy like a 200, I see this occasionally around like Brookside area, a home that's maybe 250, maybe it'd be worth 325 after repairs, right? It's not really, there's not enough meat on the bone for an investor. at $250.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for them to buy it and put the work into it and flip it and pay closing costs 2 times.
Yeah.
But as a home buyer, that could be a good buy for you.
Right.
You know, you can buy it, do the work yourself over time, over a year or two. Hopefully prices appreciate, and then you could refinance, cash out refinance, and take that equity. Let's say you built $80,000 in equity, prices went up a little bit, plus you put some money down into it, and you fixed it up. You could take that $80,000 equity and put it into another property.
Right. So would you say that your main strategy is just refinancing, pulling the money out, buying the next one?
I haven't really done a lot of that because, at 30 years old, I haven't had a lot of time to build a ton of equity.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I need deal flow too, by the way. If anyone's watching this, I want to bring deals. I'm looking for flips, something I can buy, get out of pretty quickly. I'm looking for buy and hold in A-class areas with value add. So A-class would be probably $300,000, $350,000 and up price point. Maybe something that's in grandma condition but doesn't make sense for an investor, just like exactly what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Something that I could buy, put some money into it, build some equity and refinance, but it doesn't necessarily have to make sense as a flip, right? There might not be enough meat on the bone to flip, or something in pretty much any area except like the war zones of Wilmington.
Yeah.
That I could flip.
Right. Okay.
Right, just like I'm doing that one in Claymont right now. I don't want to keep it as a rental. The neighborhood,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping it, taking the money,
Right.
getting out. We got off track there though. What was I talking about?
We're talking about.
So you're just getting
strategies.
started. Okay. So let's talk about creative financing.
Oh, I would love to talk about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
I got a hot take on creative financing.
I would love to.
I got a hot take on creative
ask
financing.
you questions. Really?
Yes.
In a bad way?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't love creative financing that
Why?
much. Couple reasons. One,
what kind of creative financing?
Just like we've talked with Kelly about, like doing the thing with the down payment and like everything like that, like having like a second note where the seller finances your down payment and your closing costs, things like that.
Okay.
Not a bad idea. You just got to be really careful with that.
Why?
What if you buy a bunch of properties? Okay, you're buying this property, the seller's financing the down payment and the closing cost. Okay, so you're buying this property, you have no equity in it. Let's say you do a couple of those a year, 2 or 3 a year. You have no equity in any of these properties. What happens if the market turns? Or something happens in your personal life, you need to sell one of them. You're going to sell it at your short sale, you're going to sell it at a loss, take that hit to your credit.
Right.
You're not going to be able to get any financing after that.
Right, because they're not really putting any money actually into it.
Yeah, it's risky. If you buy a property with just, normal investment property loan, 20% down, if the market turned over tomorrow and went down 10%, you still got 10% equity in the property. You're protected. Hopefully you don't have to sell it, but if you do, you'll actually still walk away with some money out of it.
Right.
And it hasn't really been an issue with the market rising, but probably, and there's so many like gurus out there talking about creative financing and stuff like that. Again, not a bad idea. You just have to be really careful with it. And you should probably, whatever money you're not putting into the deal that you normally would have because you're using creative financing, you should probably at least have that money.
Right.
Right?
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I guess
Reason number
something
two,
I really thought about it.
Reason number two, I'm not a huge fan of creative financing is, are you solving the wrong problem?
That's fair.
What if you just had the money?
Focusing on income.
What if you just had the money?
Yeah.
That you didn't have to do this back alley creative financing that's going to end up costing you more money at the end of the day if you just had $100,000 to put down.
See, I hear that for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching right now that are thinking, but I don't have 100,000. What do you mean? What he's saying is increase your income. Stop worrying about trying to creative finance one home and worrying so much about making this perfect when, as a realtor, if you were just worried about having deals going on and
I wouldn't worry
transactions.
I wouldn't try to find a deal and then try to make it fit with this creative financing if you have $5,000 in your bank account.
Go make money.
Focus on making more money first. Focus on saving, right?
Okay, but I mean, if you're saying if I brought you a deal that grandma completely owned the property, you know, no mortgage, right?
Right.
And she was willing to finance it to you, and you put down. But if you put down 50% in a seller finance deal, is your equity 50,000, right? Like,
yeah,
when you actually put that money down, okay. I mean, because usually that's what's going to happen with if you're just going to seller finance a deal, they're going to need some type of money to do whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you opposed to doing that though? Just seller financing a home?
No, I would do it, but I also have the money set aside separately where I could buy it outright. And again, I'm not opposed to it, but people go out and try to find deals for that purpose, for creative financing, because they don't have the money. Okay. If I come across something in my investing world that maybe it doesn't fit 100% into my buy box,
conventionally buying it.
Yeah. Like Kelly's buying that deal in Ellesmere right now.
Right.
Okay. He said, like, this deal doesn't really make sense for me. He's like, I want this property, but it doesn't really make sense for me to buy outright and put all this cash into it and tie up that money for the return on investment I get. But if we do this, then it makes sense for me.
Right.
So that's kind of how I think about it. If I come across something that maybe doesn't fit into my traditional box, then I can get a little creative and look at another option.
Got it. So it should really be looked at as a second option, you're saying.
Exactly. And I know there's people out there that do well with finding deals that are subject to and all this stuff. Not saying it can't be a tool in your tool belt, but I think of it as a secondary thing.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that gives you options. If you have the money, if you're not looking at that, if you're trying to find a subject to deal or something like that, and you don't have the money and it doesn't work out, the seller says, I don't want to finance it, or I don't want to do this creative financing. Well, now you're SOL because you can't buy it. You don't have the money.
Right. Yeah.
But if you do it the other way, you could do both.
Right.
Right. If the creative financing doesn't work out, you could say, okay, I'll just buy it like normal.
Right.
Yep.
In this market, what would you say is your favorite strategy? You're just buying and holding everything.
No, I mean, like I said, flipping to put money in and get it back out, take that profit, reinvest it into buy and hold. And ideally, I want to buy and hold something that I could still fix up a little bit and build some equity in on top of my down payment.
Got it.
Yep. Also multifamily. So talking about, getting started, house hacking is a great way to get started in real estate.
Is that if you were in my situation, is that what do you think you would shoot for, the stars?
That's a great idea.
I say the star, not the stars. What's the like if you had a goal to put in front of me, to buy your first property, like that's what you would say is?
Yeah, that's probably going to be a good way to get in and potentially put little money down. If you can get the seller to pay some closing costs, you can get your first time buyer program. You can finance it with FHA, VA, or conventional with, pretty minimal down. So I would go house hack would be a good route to go.
Can you explain to them what house hacking is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so house hacking is when you buy a property, a multifamily property, 2 to 4 units, and you live in one unit and you rent out the others. So it offsets your mortgage, or you could even make profit on it. You could pay your whole mortgage and then some.
Yeah, or even if you had a single family home, I think house hacking would consider even just renting out the rooms. But you're renting some way the property, so it's not just you paying the mortgage.
You could do that with a single family.
Right. That's a pain. I don't care to do that, to be honest with you. Like I'd much rather buy a duplex. The only difference is
when you move out and it's an investment property now, that townhouse or that single family home, you're probably not going to keep renting it to 4 random people. Yeah. You're probably going to rent it to one family, right? Most likely.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I don't know what other questions to ask about that. I mean, I think that's what I should maybe do.
Well, yeah, there's no, it's not a bad idea to have a shorter episode, but let's talk about other kind of investments. What other kind of investments are there out there?
Like in terms of like commercial?
You got stocks, you got life insurance, you got Bitcoin, you got...
What other investments you got?
Other businesses. I got a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I got
Tell me about it.
I got a whole life insurance policy.
So when you tell me how much cash you have, Does that ever include how much you got in stocks, Bitcoin?
No. I'm just talking liquid.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Net worth and liquid are different.
Yeah, no doubt. What's your net worth?
I'm getting close to $1 million. Pretty close.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's equity in stuff. That's cash and equity, right?
Yeah. Okay.
When you talk about net worth.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious. What's your other go-tos outside of real estate in terms of investments that you have?
So I put money into stocks every month. You can do like I have a Betterment account, which is just a robo, what I try to find, like stockbroker thing. So I just have it automatically draw money out of my account every month and put that in there. Also have a high yield savings account that I keep money in. I have a whole life insurance policy. So that's an interesting one. If I had to go back, I don't know that I would do that one.
Am I on that? Gosh, I wish.
You heard that story Michelle was just telling us.
Yeah, I know. Somebody
no one's going on that.
Somebody got marked to
I can't put my wife on it. That'd be too much incentive.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so whole life insurance is an interesting one. So it's life insurance, but it builds up as cash value. So you could actually use it. You could borrow against it, take a loan against it.
Really?
You could sell it and cash out. Yep. So it's got like an investment, like dollar accumulation aspect to it, but you've also got the actual life insurance policy itself. So it's kind of a weird middle ground.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, I heard about it on like a YouTube when I was getting started in real estate. I was like, that's a good idea.
Right.
But I didn't fully understand it. But now I'm stuck in the policy, like $600 a month. And if I don't, it's just like a little side investment. Right. To be honest, it's not like a big deal. But if I stop paying the premiums, then I lose the value of it. So right. It's not bad.
Oh man.
I have some Bitcoin.
Where do you keep your cash?
I have some Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been a good investment for me.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you start investing in it?
I want to say like during COVID, like 2020. It's not bad. Nice. I put like, I don't know, I was just messing around. I put like $8,000 in there.
It'd be hard for me to want to just ride that.
It's doubled since then, so
there you go.
It's not a bad investment.
So, but the question I have is, where do you keep your cash?
But that was a little bit of side money I put into Bitcoin. Okay, I'm not trying to get rich on XRP or anything like that, any of the fly-by-night things. That was a little extra cash side money I put in. Right.
Just to diversify.
Yeah.
Where do you keep your cash? Like, do you keep it just in you just keep it in a regular bank account or high yield savings account?
So most of it's in a high yield savings account. Yeah, most of it's in a high yield savings account, and then I have like the business account with a good amount of money in it that is, operating capital. You want to keep that liquid. You don't want to have to like move that in and out of accounts too much.
Right. What is it that people say you can, like invest in bonds and stuff like that? You ever done that?
I think part of my portfolio on Betterment is in bonds. So they do the robo auto, buying stocks, and I think it invests partially in bonds too, although I'm not sure. But you can do that. You could do like a treasury bond, something like that.
That's what I was curious.
Where you pay into it and your money's tied up for a year or whatever, and then you get X amount back out. They're not bad. It's not a bad idea.
Right.
You just want to make sure you don't need that money in that meantime for anything. So Gary Keller talks about one of the biggest problems with people building wealth is they have to visit their money. You know what I mean by that?
Like keep looking at it?
Not just keep looking at it, but they have to use it for something else. So if I put money in here, okay, as an investment, if I bought $10,000 of Bitcoin, okay, and something happens in my personal life and I need money, now I go back, Bitcoin's at 7,000, but I need that money. I have to sell it. I have to take out of my account, and then I use that money for something else, and then maybe I buy Bitcoin again in the future, right? Visiting your money is like taking that money back out. I see people buy rental properties, put the money down, A couple of years later, something happens. Their kid goes to college, something like that. They sell it, and then they use that money for that, which is not a terrible thing, but you're not really building wealth. You're just paying for things that way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, no doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. Okay. I mean, I want to talk more about buying real estate.
Did you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yes, it was a really long time ago.
Okay.
I think a lot of it mostly was audiobook, but
So what does he say about building? This is kind of like level 2 of building wealth, but he talks about using assets to pay for liabilities.
Right.
Okay, so what we just talked about there was a perfect example of using an asset to pay for a liability.
Right.
Your kid's college fund's a liability. I know that shit's expensive. My wife works in student loans. I know how expensive it is.
Right.
Okay. Your asset is, I put $50,000 down on this property, and it appreciated, and now that 50 is 100. I sell that property, I take that 100,000, and I pay for my kid's college fund.
Right.
Right. Not a bad thing to do, but you're not really building wealth. You're paying for your lifestyle. Again, not a bad thing. But level 2 of that would be just keeping that money there and using it, or taking that money out to buy another property and having it multiply.
Right. How are you finding deals?
So I don't really look actively, because we have like the real estate team that keeps me pretty busy. But I just kind of come across them
On the market? You usually buy on the market?
Sometimes, yeah. If the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to buying off the market.
Some people are so opposed to buying on market, but it's
well, what they really want is a deal.
Yeah.
What they want is a deal, and they think that they won't find a deal on the market, which is typically true, but not always true.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. As long as the numbers make sense, the numbers make sense.
What makes something a deal?
Well, I say this 2 ways.
Not specific numbers, but what would
a deal?
How would you
if
know
you
if
ask
you saw a
me,
deal?
it's kind of what I just said. Like, well, I think what you're talking about is someone say a deal if you're buying it below what maybe market value would be, right? Like, if on the market would sell for 130, if I could buy it for 110, that's a deal,
right?
It doesn't always make sense, or as long as the numbers work, of course.
Sure.
You know, it's not like you're going to buy a $450,000 house for $420,000 might be a deal, but it still might not really cash flow.
Right.
So is that really a deal? I mean,
exactly.
Not really, but they're just looking to buy it below market value, I guess.
Yeah. So I have another hot take.
Okay.
People say, you've heard the saying, you make your money when you buy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get that, and that is true, but it's lacking context. You know, so when we look at like how hot the market is, what do you look at? What are the 2 things that make up the market?
Days. No, I don't know.
What are the 2 things? How many buyers there are, right?
Yeah.
Demand.
Yeah.
And what else?
And supply.
Okay, supply and demand.
I wanted to say that, by the way. I was going to say that. Stop it. Everybody stop it. I was thinking that, but I don't know why I was thinking that. My head went somewhere else.
That's all right. So does one really mean anything without the other?
Mm-mm.
Okay. If I say there's 100 homes on the market, does it mean anything?
Right. There's no buyers.
If there's 100 homes on the market and 10 buyers a month,
it does.
That means something. Okay.
Right.
If I say there's 100 buyers, does it mean anything?
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, just 100 buyers.
Right.
Without the 100 homes on the market.
It doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
So when people say you make your money when you buy, you're kind of lacking context there. Okay. If something's a deal today, that's great, obviously, if you can get a good deal today. But what if it's a good deal 5 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
When I bought my first property, like 2019, it underappraised by $5,000, and I was about to walk away from it.
Right.
Would have been the dumbest thing I ever did.
Right.
I was buying it for $155, $150, I think. I think the appraisal came back at $145. Okay. And I was about to walk away from it. I was like, I'm a realtor. Like, I want to get a good deal. What can I ask? What do I look like paying over appraised value for it? Okay. That property is worth $300,000 today.
Right.
I almost walked away from.
Why didn't you walk away from it? Who was in your ear? You just
No
wanted
one
the
really.
deal. You just wanted the deal.
I was like, I want to get my first
You're
property.
too emotional.
Yeah. But it worked out, you know?
Yeah.
So does a deal today could look different tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that you necessarily you make your money when you buy. You could buy a great deal tomorrow and the market could go to shit.
So
and
how do you
it's
know
not
when
a
to
good
buy?
deal anymore, right?
So how do you know when to buy then? How do you know when to buy?
So I think about it. I think you just have to think long term.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm buying a flip, I'm looking at today's market. I don't care about 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 10 years from now. I care about today's market and the next 3 to 6 months. Okay.
Right.
So now I know I have my time frame. I can look at, okay, this property I bought in Claymont, it's 140. I'm putting 30,000 into it. I'm gonna sell it for 225. Okay. That's a good deal in today's market. All right. I'm not looking at 30 years from now. When I look at other things, if you buy a townhouse, if you buy your first home, okay, and they want 300 for it, and you're like, I really want to get this for 290. That'd be a good deal in today's market, whatever, right? Even if you pay 300 for it, if you're so young, it doesn't really matter, because in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's gonna be $600,000. Right? It's going to make you a lot of money over the long term. So you have to play the long game with rentals. So anything I buy, I plan to never sell it, because then you avoid taxes on it too.
Yeah.
You can if you need the money from the equity, you can cash out, refinance it, take that and buy another, investment property or whatever you want to do with it.
Right.
So I think in long term, I have a client who, I think you met them, right? Ryan and them.
I believe so.
Ryan, Bob, and Mike. Yeah, so they work at what is it? They help people with disabilities. They buy group homes, but they don't buy big group homes like most companies and shove 20 people in there. They buy like 2-person, 3-person households to give them a more normal living experience. Anyway, they just don't care about the price that much. If they can get a good deal, they want to, right? But they don't sell their properties. They have like 800 properties.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And when I look back at the properties that they own, in Pennsylvania, before they just expanded to Delaware, I'm their guy for Delaware. But when I look at their properties in PA that they bought in 1980, I mean, it was like $80,000, $100,000, and now it's worth $650.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're thinking on a long time frame.
I remember them being pretty chill about it too. Like they just broke,
they'll pay a
naturally
fair
breaking.
Price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were going to pay like market value.
Yep.
But as long as the numbers made sense,
right.
It's okay, because they know they're going to hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or think about home buyers in 2020. They're like, I'm not paying X amount, $20,000 over the appraised price, whatever. That's a good deal now. You should have. If you were looking for a home in 2020 and you're like, I'm not doing this whole bidding war thing, you should have. Because that $20,000 you were going to pay over in that the value at that time is now nothing. You would have had $120,000 now,
right,
in 2025, and a low interest rate.
No, I know. I know. When you hear people say that now, it's like, I'm not paying these prices. It's like,
yeah,
I hear you. Like, what's the plan with the house? I'm going to live here. It's
plan
my
B?
last house.
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Like, okay, prices might drop. Could be 5, 10, 20, like 15 years from now. Like, you're going to wait 15 years? Like,
Right. What's your plan B?
But obviously articulating that, I'm probably not the best at.
Yeah. So last thing I want to mention is go for layups. Too many people go for the slam dunk, the 3-pointer, whatever you want to call it, like the crazy deal. Okay. All my investing has just been layups. I'm sure I'll come across like a slam dunk at some point. And if you're in the market and you're investing actively, you will. It's time and luck, right? Just being out there and being more active in the market, you'll come across really, really good deals. But there's, again, nothing wrong with buying a deal that makes you a little bit of money.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You don't need to make 40% profit. you know?
Right. Instead of trying to make 50K or 60K on each deal, if you come out with 10K, boo-hoo, right? Like obviously
layups win games.
And you know what? It's kind of like the whole Alex Hormozi thing where it's like the more reps you do, the better you get. So it's like
you get better at
the
it.
more layups you take, I mean, your shots can start getting farther and farther back and naturally. So
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good framework to like remind yourself probably.
Yeah, that's just life in general. Layups win games. You know, it's not the crazy
fundamentals.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So we buying a deal soon or what?
Yeah. Find me a deal.
I know. I've found a couple and they always fall through.
You know my buy box now.
They always fall through.
I mean, you already kind of knew, but you know. You've had a couple you've talked to.
Yeah, I can't make it happen. I can't make it happen.
Seller financing.
Yeah, because it's not like I'm going to bring anything that's on the market and be like, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Because you've already seen it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Stop.
If I missed it.
You've never missed a property.
Bring me a deal.
This guy's ridiculous. It'll be at 8 a.m. I'll send him a property. He's like, I already seen it. And it'll be just posted today. He's like, I saw it this morning while I was on the toilet.
That's true. I mean, you have a hot sheet, right? You check your hot sheet every day?
Hot sheet.
Yeah, and you make a hot sheet either on your MLS or you can make it on Lofty and our CRM. You can make it on your phone. I just look at Newcastle County, 0 to 1 days on market. And every day I check it and I just scroll through it. And it's just new homes that hit the market in the last 24 hours.
You got to help me set that up.
Oh.
Because I
thought we did. Didn't we do it on Lofty?
I didn't set it up as a hot sheet.
Okay.
I've just looked at new properties on the market today.
You didn't save it.
Just go to the
just save it. You just click on it and you just scroll through there.
Actually, maybe we did do that.
So it helps with finding properties for my clients too.
Yeah, I got to make it a point of like looking at it every day in the morning.
Yep.
Not like, all right, I'll do it every other day.
Yeah.
No, like look
at it every day. You
literally
do it while you're on the toilet in the morning.
It
takes 5 minutes to scroll through there.
Yeah, no doubt. How much cash flow are you looking for? How much cash flow do you need from each property?
That's really going to be dependent on what you're putting into it. I don't know that I necessarily have a number.
You don't have like a percent?
No. I mean, if it's something where if you're putting 60,000, 70, 80,000 into it, you would want at least a couple hundred a month. So like I want, regardless of how much I put into it, I want it to pay all the expenses and cover a little bit extra a month. Okay, a couple $100 a month in cash flow. Unless I'm putting down like a ton of cash, then you might want a little better cash flow. But it's tough to say because it depends on what you're buying. Okay, we could actually, that's a good point. Let's talk about like the different investment classes within real estate. Okay, so we talked about earlier, my buy box right now for buy and hold properties is A class, or B, probably like B plus class is fine too. A class properties are overall lower maintenance, okay, better tenants, probably more professional tenants, and possibly newer. So yeah, lower maintenance, right? And in better areas in general. Okay, those kind of properties, they're going to appreciate better than B or C class properties, but they don't cash flow as much. Okay, if I buy a townhouse in Middletown for $400,000, a new construction townhouse, even if I put 20% down after covering the mortgage and expenses and stuff like that, I'm probably not going to make a lot of money every month. I might make $300 a month in cash flow profit, right? Not a ton of money, especially for putting $100,000 down. But that property will appreciate better and hold value better than something in like a really rough neighborhood in Wilmington, okay?
Right.
So that's the other side of it, is a C-class property. This would be, probably, let's say, you can buy a property in Wilmington for $130 in some of the worst areas. That's like pretty move-in ready.
Yeah.
Not nice, obviously, but like pretty move-in ready. You could get a tent in there immediately. Okay, that property might cash flow crazy. That's $130. Let's say you put 20% down, your mortgage is what, $600 a month maybe? Maybe $700 a month. You could probably rent that thing out for $1,400 a month. So you're making $700. Obviously, you have to factor in the maintenance and stuff like that too,
Mm-hmm.
right? The maintenance cost, the chance that you're going to have a bad tenant that's going to eat into your profit, all that stuff is going to factor into it. So you will actually profit probably about the same as the A-class property, maybe a little bit more, but the cash flow looks a lot better on it.
Right. And
But
the money to get into it is a lot less.
Right.
So
Right.
From a cash flow standpoint,
That's true.
more.
Yeah.
It is better from a cash flow standpoint. Less cash, same amount of cash
Yes.
flow. So
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it's not appreciating.
But if you look at overall return on investment, that property that makes you the C-class property, let's say it makes you $500 a month in profit. Let's say 400 a month, $4,800 a year, okay, times, let's say 10 years, that's $48,000, okay. That property is not going to be worth a lot more than what you bought it for in 10 years. Let's say $20,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 48 plus 20, you're at 68,000 in profit total.
Right.
For owning that property for 10 years.
Mm.
That's not a ton of money, right?
Right.
For 10 years. Now you have a better cash on cash return potentially because you put less into it, but it's not as good of investment. But it's just a different like style.
Right.
Neither one's necessarily a better or worse investment. That one's going to be more management intensive. You're going to have more headaches. You're going to have more tenant turnover. You're going to have people that destroy the property and let their kids color with crayons on the walls after you just renovated the whole place, which literally happened to me. That's why I sold one of mine recently.
Not just because of crayons, not just because you had to repaint.
No,
they were doing
no.
a lot of stuff.
No,
to
it was
be
a
fair.
lot. It was a lot. Yeah, I've renovated that thing multiple times.
As I say, just the crayons wouldn't be too bad, but
No.
no, there was a lot of things going on with that property.
But the property in Middletown, if you're making, what did we say, $200 a month on it, times 10 years, that's $24,000 in cash in the bank from your monthly cash flows. But that $400,000 property, let's say it appreciated in 10 years. Let's say we kind of need a calculator to do this. If you figured like 3 to 4% a year, let's say it's up by 40%.
Yeah,
let's say 30%. All right, so that's 120,000.
Yeah,
more.
Yeah,
plus the cash, so you're at 144,000.
Yeah,
right.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it's definitely less of a headache, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have to buy a property, man. I need to get one, big time.
You don't need to get one.
No, I need one.
You'll get one. Focus on the money first, like I said.
No, I know you're right.
The income. Focus on your skills. Increase your income. Do the work. If you come across a good deal that's open to creative financing, that's fine. But have that money, so you have the opportunity. You have the options.
Right.
So you find a really good house you want in Newark, right? And they're not open to creative financing. Okay, cool. I have the money. I can do either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So.
Okay.
Cool. That it for today?
Yeah, I think that is.
I know there's a lot we're missing, but
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about investing, we could probably talk for 10 hours, to be honest with you.
I got a haircut.
Yeah, probably right now. Shout out Mark, man.
Mark's going to yell at me.
All right, guys, Thank you for watching. Yeah, we've had a lot of other good podcasts. This was more towards investments, talking about investors and all, but we've talked about building a database and talking to your SOI, getting cold leads through open houses and cold calling. We talked about also paid advertising and working paid leads and how you're talking to these people, what we use to do multiple deals, not multiple deals, I mean dozens and dozens of deals per year through paid leads. So yeah. There's a lot of things we talked about. I mean, 10 other episodes, really. They're not all posted, though, but hey, there's probably 7 other ones you could find. So
yeah, they're in the
check
archives.
Them out. Make sure you go check them out. So, anything you want to say?
No, that's a wrap, guys. But yeah, no, that's a wrap.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, First State Home Team. We're here in Wilmington, so we're actually in the Bellevue Corporate Center, just on the northeast side of Wilmington.
Check out this beautiful view back here.
Yeah, and this is like probably the window that has the worst view, actually. If you go on the on where our office is at, you can see the whole Delaware River. So, yeah. So,
side note.
Thank you guys for watching.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in.
See if it was recording.
Oh yeah, we're good.